So I guess it's part 2 of neuroception. So if neuroception is the unconscious detection of safety or danger in the environment, let's take a dive and see how that could show up on our dive space. So imagine you're breathing up, you have current, the water's choppy. Think about what your physiology is going to do to compensate for that. And what would be some automatic thought patterns that would pop up in kind of relationship to the water condition. Now imagine you had a really great breathe up, everything feels wonderful. You've done your surface EQ, you've just passed the first 2 meters, you're equalizing, it's all is great, and you start going down. And then you have a little bit of a stuck point at a certain depth. What is your physiology going to do in kind of response to that? It's going to tense up. Then, unfortunately, with that kind of neuroception of danger, the tension kind of builds up, then we get the thoughts. We don't have to go too far into that because I made a video about that. Just check in the past here on my page. So let's move into interoception. So interoception is deliberately listening and tuning into your nervous system by kind of gathering some physiological cues. In the last video, I gave you a hint and told you about this neuroception of psychological safety scale. You don't need a test to help you do this. You can check your blink rate, your swallow rate, your breath rate, your brain rate. And your brain rate is really like, how tense is it? Is it going? Is it spinning out? Is it keeping you up at night? And then you can kind of go to the other parts of your body and look and detect like tension. You can do this while we're diving. We call that a body scan. I think this is a little bit more enhanced because we're not just gathering information from our physiology, but we're also kind of gathering information about our thought process. And interoception is responsible really for 3 different ways that we can feel things. The first is this, recognition of, oh, something's happening, something's going on. Nervous system kind of gets into this mode of like, oh, it's time to power up and to do something. So then we have like this tactile kind of sense, and then we have the physiological sense. But the very last thing is the feelings. So we have 3 different ways we can kind of move into how we feel about a dive. And that's why when someone comes up from a dive and we're training, I prefer to tell them or ask them, how was that for you? What was your body telling you? Instead of, how do you feel? Because depending on your day and your mood and your dive, how do you feel could be answered in so many different ways. So tell me about your dive. What did you experience? What did you like about it? Just different ways we can ask these questions. So now that we're kind of empowered with understanding the neuroception, which is how we have automatic responses to kind of different things in the environment. And if we don't feel safe, we're going to go into a defense mode, right? And with interoception, we can get this automatic response pattern, kind of understand what's happening to our physiology, and make a change. If there's too much tension in the system, we can kind of release that. If there's not enough tension in the system, we can add that. So interoception is scanning the body, looking for the 3 different ways of feelings and kind of physiological things, mental things going on, and coming to a conclusion of, guess what? I've read my nervous system. Now I can do some self-regulation exercises. Takes less than 30 seconds. Then I can move on with my day. I can get back into my prefrontal cortex, get back into functioning, which is really the goal of self-regulation, is to get you back to a state where you can function. You can get back to your dive or get back to your work like I'm supposed to be doing. So next video, I'm going to share about the 3 different zones of your nervous system and how those show up in the freediving space. But I'll be curious to see what you have to say in response to this video, and how are you going to start paying attention to your nervous system just a little bit differently. Think about your breath. Think about your blinking. Think about your swallowing. Any tension in the body. Is there anything you need to do to kind of release that? And is there anything you need to do to bring more energy into your system? All right, that's it for now. Thanks. Bye.